So you know those moments when you already said something and your child still goes ahead and does the exact opposite. It can really get to you as a parent. Like you say to your child, leave that thing, and they're already touching it. Or sometimes you tell them it's time to sleep, and suddenly they remember everything that they want to do. Or you tell them, pack up your toys, and that's when they remember that they are tired, they become distracted, or even completely uninterested. And the truth is that it can feel like they are pushing you for no reason. And to be honest, it can really be exhausting. Welcome to Try Parenting Hub with Amaka. Today we'll be talking about why kids push boundaries non-stop. So we must understand that most of the times the children are not trying to stress you or to be difficult. They are trying to figure out things. So children test limits because they are trying to understand what you truly mean. They are watching your response, they are observing the patterns, and they are trying to figure out if what you say today is something that will stand later. Yes. So when something is not consistent, even in small ways, your children notice it. And the truth is that they keep trying. So that's why sometimes it feels like the behaviors keep repeating themselves. And then we term it as stubbornness. So sometimes it's not stubbornness. They are just asking themselves, is this rule always true? Yes. So until they are sure, they will keep testing it in different ways. And to be honest, most times it shows up when you're already tired. Maybe you've had a long day and then you've repeated yourself over and over and over again, and it feels like your children are not even listening. So that's usually the moment where your reaction wants to come out quickly, and that's completely normal. But what really makes the difference in those moments is how we respond. So when the response becomes shouting or frustration, the whole situation shifts. So the child is no longer focused on what they did, they are focused on your reaction. So your children might stop in that moment, but the truth is that they have not really learnt anything about boundary. But when you stay calm, even if you're firm, it lands differently. So it doesn't mean you ignore what they did. It means that your response is steady. So you don't need long explanations in that moment. Something simple and clear works better. So you can just say to your child, I won't let you do that, and then you act on it. So the action is what teaches, and that follow through part, because most parents say something without following through with it. So the follow through part is what is really important, because a child notices that sometimes you say something and it doesn't happen. So they begin to see the boundary as something flexible. And once a boundary feels flexible, they will keep testing it consistently. So consistency here is not about being strict. So at the same time, you also must understand that your child has feelings in those moments too. So when they don't get what they want, they may cry, they may get upset, they may even push back more. So that doesn't mean that you have done something wrong as a parent. So you can acknowledge how they feel without removing the boundary. So you can say something like, okay, I know you're upset, or I know you wanted more time. So you're not agreeing with the behavior, you're just letting them know that you see them. And that alone can reduce a lot of resistance. So we must understand that another thing that helps, especially with older toddlers and small children, is giving small choices. Yes. So not choices that actually removes the boundary or removes the rule, but choices that are within the context of the rule. You understand? So instead of saying to your child, up your toys now, you can say to them, do you want to pack up your toys now or in 5 minutes? So you can see that the boundary is still there, but now they feel involved. They feel like they have a say, and that alone reduces the struggle, and then it creates a connection. So sometimes your children, what feels like testing limits is actually your child needing more attention. Yes, so maybe you've been busy, or maybe you've not had a one-on-one time with them. So sometimes that moment they're trying to get you to engage with them, they're trying to get you to talk to them, they're trying to get you to listen to them. So even something small as pausing your phone and looking at them and then responding to them calmly instead of rushing can change how they react. So a child who feels connected is usually more willing to cooperate. So it's really important not to take the behavior personally. So I know sometimes it can feel like disrespect, especially when it keeps happening often or most of the time. So most of the time, it's you must understand that your children are learning. Yes, that is how they learn. They are learning what the limits are. They are learning how the people around them respond. You understand? So when your response is calm over time and consistent, they begin to understand. So it will not just happen overnight. Yes, it is not going to happen overnight, and it will not be perfect every day, but it does get better along the line. So you will start to notice that they test less, or that they recover faster, or they begin to follow through without as much resistance as they did at the initial stage. You understand? So sometimes it can feel like a lot. Sometimes it is okay to pause and then to just take a breath. It doesn't mean that you're failing as a parent, it just means that you are a human. So parenting in this moment is not about getting everything right all the time. No. So it is about being intentional with your response, even when it is hard. So if you are in that phase now where it feels like your child is always pushing boundaries, just know that it is normal. Yes, and more importantly, the way you respond is what shape how they learn from it. So if this resonates with you, you can like, share, and subscribe for more practical parenting support. And I'd like to really hear from you. So what situation come up the most for you right now? So what is that one thing that your child keeps testing? You can share it in the comment section, because a lot of parents are going through the same thing. See you in the next video.